My name's Juliana Furchi, and I'm a field mycologist and fungal activist from Chile. The first time I saw a mushroom, a beautiful, massive orange mushroom on a tree stump, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. I want to know the species. Then I couldn't find any books on Chilean fungi. I couldn't believe it. I just had this deep feeling of injustice towards a whole kingdom of life. And that then rapidly was enveloped with a certainty of, I'm going to do this. A life well lived here is a life where I can help reveal a kingdom of life. We've been looking at protecting habitats through conservation frameworks that focus on large charismatic species and explicitly excluding a whole kingdom of life. It's about being scientifically correct, and it's about habitat protection with the organisms that connect it all. About 8 or 9 years ago, I remembered this beautiful series of books called Funga Nordica. And it was the use of this term referring to fungal diversity. And I said, what about funga? We demonstrated that funga was equivalent to flora and fauna. And then we built the 3F proposal for decision makers to include the term funga in conservation frameworks. It's 3 Fs, not 2. Flora, fauna, and fungi. We're in Tierra del Fuego, at the tip of the southern cone of the American continent. And we're surveying for fungal diversity at what we call the beginning of the world, not the end of the world. Tierra del Fuego is a really hostile environment to work in. You wake up with freezing mornings and just the relentless wind. So on this trip, I have the honor of being accompanied by 3 extraordinary people. Christian Moreno, who is in charge of the expeditions on our team. Toby Kears, who is an extraordinary evolutionary biologist with a vision to map the underground networks of the world. And Merlin Sheldrake, who is a very elegant communicator of the wonders of the fungal world.
Fungi are metabolically ingenious. They teach us a lot, how life proceeds.
Okay, I'm ready. Everyone's ready? I'm ready. All right.
My goal surveying is to understand what species of fungi live here and who they're living with, because if collected properly, there's quite a big possibility of describing new species to science.
Huele pésimo. Smells like really bad.
Once you discover fungi in nature, your vision of nature will never be the same again.
A lot of this coming out to collect to the forest has to do with being in the right forest in the right week of the year when the mushrooms are out. The fungi are living in the soil and in the tree trunks all year round, but we have to coincide and we have to be here exactly this 3 or 4 days that the mushrooms are visible. In this case, in this part of the forest, we're not seeing any mushrooms. They're just not visible. They're under our feet, but it's not our day to meet them macroscopically. Go to the next spot. When you get to a forest, it's really important to sit down, to chill out. And then suddenly you just start seeing mushrooms. Your eyes adjust. Seems like we're not seeing anything, but now they're starting to pop out everywhere.
Juliana told me to not move because we have something new on this piece of wood and in my hands. What do we have?
Some sort of cup fungus that I haven't seen before, and they're so fragile because when we moved before, these two dropped off. So we're just trying to get a good collection. Sometimes one whole tree trunk has one individual only, or a few individuals that produce hundreds of mushrooms, but the mushroom isn't the individual. The individual is
Below the surface.
The is below the surface.
A formal taxonomic collection, it takes a while. You have to pick it in the right way, you have to arrange it, photograph it, number it, you have to do all sorts of description.
So this is one we collected and is a new species.
But mushroom collections are very important because if we don't have formal taxonomic collections, we don't know who lives where. And so part of the trip is to do with mushrooms, and part of the trip is to sample the soil and to look at the DNA in the soil and to contribute to fungal community maps.
We go and make cores in the ground in this grid pattern. Okay, we're here. We collect the cores, extract the fungal DNA, and get a picture of what's happening below ground. SPUN's mission is to map the mycorrhizal networks of the earth, this very important class of fungi that provide nutrients to plants and sequester huge amounts of carbon. Right there.
Fungi are a kingdom of life that have not had a kingdom's worth of attention. Fungi play so many roles in human life, as foods, as agents of fermentation, as producers of medicines. But whatever they do in the human technological world is tiny, really, compared to what they do in the living world, where they make soil, they form relationships without which all plants would die. They have shaped the history of life and continue to do so. And so an account of the living world that didn't include fungi would be an account of a world that doesn't exist.
For a long time, I've been striving for the protection of fungi by myself. Meeting Merlin and Toby opened up a world for me. It made me realize that I wasn't alone in a vision for fungal protection.
Today is a really exciting day because it's Juliana's, well, it might be Juliana's 1,000th collection, formal taxonomic collection. It's taken 25 years to make 1,000 collections. We're going to do our best to celebrate and make sure that she can't just walk past this significant moment, which you were threatening to do.
This is collection 999. Look, Merlin, you can see the cortina with the cinnamon-colored spores. Here they are.
At last.
At last, no, at last. This is a species of Cortinarius that's only found here in the Southern Hemisphere. And when the Fungi Foundation was created and we made our first logo that you can see on my hat, we represented a purple Cortinarius on the eye of fungi.